The man had been poisoned with a peculiar toxin that transformed him into a 6-year-old child during the day, only allowing him to resume his appearance as a prince at night. The woman, mistaking him for a homeless child, took him in and cared for him meticulously. She bathed him, fed him, and even held him in her arms as they slept, completely unaware that the child she was caring for was, in fact, her nominal husband. Fearing exposure of his true identity, the man would slip away quietly each night after she fell asleep, which prevented the woman from discovering his secret. A scheming woman, eager to climb the social ladder, ingratiated herself with the matriarch and the young master, while treating the mysterious stray child with utter indifference. Little did she know that he was the very prince she was so keen on pleasing. In an attempt to win the young master's favor, she took him to a gambling den and squandered money. Upon hearing this, the woman rushed to the gambling den to bring the young master back to the mansion. However, the young master, arrogant due to his noble status, accused her of meddling and declared that the mansion was his domain, and no one could dictate how he spent his money. Although the child was technically her stepson by name, she couldn't bear to see him go astray at such a young age. So, she punished him by making him kneel in the courtyard to reflect on his mistakes. The young master, however, was ungrateful and insisted that she was mistreating him. He threatened to tell his father when he returned and demand severe punishment for her. The prince wanted to reveal himself, but the poison suddenly flared up, forcing him to remain silent. Meanwhile, the matriarch, manipulated by the scheming woman, arrived at the courtyard. She believed the one-sided story and concluded that the woman was abusing the young master, vowing to punish her according to the family rules. At the critical moment, the prince managed to regain his true form and stepped forward to protect the woman. He publicly declared her as his consort, stating that no one was allowed to harm her. The woman saw her husband for the first time, his handsome appearance causing her heart to race. That night, she took the initiative to get closer to him, hoping to build some marital affection. However, just at that moment, the prince's poison flared up again, and he had no choice but to knock her unconscious and revert to his childlike appearance. Realizing that the poison was worsening and that detoxification was urgent, he summoned a renowned physician in the middle of the night. Meanwhile, the scheming woman hatched another malicious plan. She quietly poisoned the young master's food, intending to frame the woman. The matriarch, furious upon hearing the news, was convinced that the woman was the poisoner and immediately ordered her to be beaten to death. The young master had actually witnessed the scheming woman's actions, but was coaxed into changing his story with a few sweet words, tearfully accusing the woman of being the culprit. The prince was at a crucial moment in his detoxification process. If interrupted, he would suffer a severe backlash. But upon hearing that the woman had been captured, he nearly lost control and almost suffered a power reversal. Just as the rods were about to fall, the prince rushed into the scene, shielding the woman and coldly declaring that if anything happened to her, no one would leave alive. As everyone was stunned, the scheming woman continued to fabricate lies, accusing the woman of poisoning. The matriarch, believing the false accusations, prepared to increase the punishment. But the prince, no longer tolerating any noise, picked up the woman and took her back to their room.